Okay, one of the problems that we found with the Hydroheart, one of the things that we're troubleshooting is, on occasion we're getting people where their roots are growing down and getting so intense that they're going through the tubing and causing clogging. What's happening with that also is that there's also red clay pellets that are in the net pots, and those red clay pellets sometimes are falling down and going between this red tubing, and even though they're not completely clogging it, they're slowing the flow. And what that means is when the water's coming out of the controller, out of the top to the first circuit, sometimes there's water imbalances where the water level will be at the right height on this one, and then 5 down in the circuit the water level will be too low, and that's because there's clogging in the tube in between. Now we have these root guards that have a little handle on it, so you can actually push them in and pull them right out. And those are nice because they sit right in the bottom and they prevent the roots or any stones from clogging up these tubes, and maintains proper water flow through the bottom. And then at any point you can always pull them right out. They snap right out. So we have these, and we will send these to you for free. All you need to do is request them if you don't have them with your Hydroheart yet. They're an item that we've made after basically getting customer feedback. Also, we've had a few people that have had questions on the water pumps where I basically just want to touch base and talk about it a little bit. If you have an instance where your water pump in the bottom is working and your air pump isn't working, or your backup water pump isn't working for whatever reason, if it's at the backup water pump you're checking, what you always want to do is open your system, make sure nothing's obstructing this float valve, and actually lift the float valve up and down when it's plugged in. Okay, there's actually a DC power supply that I don't have here that plugs right in here. It powers all the units associated with it, all the items. And for the backup reservoir, lifting that float up and down should turn this backup water pump on and off. If it's not, if it's staying on all the time, then there's something wrong with it. If it's staying off all the time, there's something wrong with it. It should turn on and off with that float valve. The water pump that sits inside the unit with the shorter green tube, that pump should be on all the time. That never turns off. I've had a few people ask too how they do maintenance on the system. Basically, if you want to add fertilizer or you want to basically add anything to your system, pH or fertilizer, just lift up the top of the controller, pop it off, add your powders or whatever it is that you're adding to it. Give it about 10 to 20 minutes to recirculate through the system. Check it again, make sure your levels are good, and that's all you need to do. Just put it in the controller and let it recirculate. If you want, you can take your pH up in your fertilizer, mix it in a can of water, then pour it in. Basically, however you want to do it is just fine. Also, one of the last things I want to make sure, when you're connecting your water pump to your Hydroheart system, make sure that the colors match, blue and blue and black and black. We've had people that have been mixing these up, and that's been causing them not to work. Also, too, the air pump that's associated with the system, you could use any type of air pump from Walmart, or you can get a separate one and basically connect it to the yellow tubing that's normally associated with connecting to the main site, and that'll work if this fails for any reason or you have any kind of problem.